Welcome everyone to a casted game for Age of Empires 4, and today sporting in the northeast corner of the map, playing in red, representing Team Liquid, it's Demu playing as the Japanese. And battling against him today in the southwest in blue is crackedyhere playing as the French. Welcome everyone to Gorge. That's the map for today, and as always, hope you are all having a great morning, good afternoon, or good evening, of course, very much depending where you are in the world, and also what time you're watching, of course. And on that note, we have a very diverse audience, I've got to say. I was checking out the YouTube analytics, and we have people watching from, well, various different places, various different countries, and there are many to go through, but some interesting ones. Moldova, apparently. I would like to know from you guys where you are watching the game today. Of course, we've got your usual suspects. You've got the USA, UK, Germany. Probably the three most common places, but of course, very big countries and very popular with RTS. But let me know, where are you watching from? In fact, I've actually had a couple of conversations with people from, India watching as well, Switzerland as well. Some pretty cool destinations. So let me know where you are watching from in the comment section below. Kind of interested to see if there's some smaller, less well-known countries maybe. We shall see. Either way, the French versus the Japanese, a really interesting matchup. It kind of gives you vibes of what French versus HRE used to be. The HRE and the Japanese typically favouring that castle age. I wonder if it's going to be a fast castle here from Demu. Now the French are pretty well equipped to deal with that. They're a very aggressive civilization, very strong in the feudal age, and they can often, look to play an extended feudal age, try and do some damage, try and punish any sort of fast castle play from the Japanese today. That's always an option for them. Obviously, typically leaning towards the French Royal Knight, a very strong unit for them in the feudal age. Try and snipe out villagers, do economic damage, and delay any castle age play. Now, on a map like Gorge, the options are not so much limited, but you have kind of good choices and maybe bad choices. Now, the Chamber of Commerce versus the School of Cavalry, it feels a bit difficult to make the School of Cavalry not be the choice, right? Because the Chamber of Commerce with trade, the trade posts are very much in the middle of the map. Very difficult to secure that, keep it safe. So it will be the School of Cavalry, and of course trade for the French is probably not a good idea against the Japanese, when the Japanese are looking to go to the castle age most likely. Now it will be the Cura storehouse for Demu and his Japanese, very safely located between the woodline and the town centre. That's actually kind of perfect placement, just fits in there snugly. So he's going to get a couple of free farms and a lot of sheep as well. But he's got to keep an eye on this location, right? Because you're going to see some French Royal Knights before too long. Very highly optimized build order here from Crackedy. Should get up to the next stage within about 4 minutes. At the 4-minute mark, I should say, really. And then queue up a knight most instantaneously. Look to put on some pressure. Now, the great thing for the Japanese is they do mine some stone as well as gold at the same time. So when they mine gold, they get a bit of a trickle of stone and vice versa, which allows them to get outposts and get the arrow slits. But what I would say is that in the most recent kind of months of Age of Empires 4, one outpost often isn't enough. And the reason for that is you can just come on the other side. Sure, arrow slits can do a lot of damage to Royal Knights, but archers, they may be able to range these villagers if he gets in range with them. But we shall see how Crackedy decides to address this situation. Now, granted, Demu could potentially get some palisade walls. Very cheap, very cheerful, very effective at blocking this area of the map. And if he does secure the gold, that will be pretty important for him, because it's one thing getting enough gold to get to the castle age, but it's another thing getting a secured gold for when you get to the castle age. Because almost anything you want to do, whether it be mounted samurai, whether it be just regular samurai, you're going to need gold. That's for sure. Now, the first Royal Knight is going to be on the way. Oh wait, that's not a Royal Knight. That's a villager. What's going on here? Crackedy is going for a bit of a tower rush, and I don't hate it. I like it a lot. Really nice timing on this, because that French Royal Knight is about to pop out, and I don't know if Demu is aware of this happening. And bear in mind, he's only got one outpost here, Demu, because it's quite hard to afford a second at this sort of timing. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Crackedy just place an outpost here. That could be really dangerous to range that gold. Because bear in mind, the rest of the gold here is right on the north of the map. Both golds very close to each other. That's something that Crackedy could look to try and put some pressure on and punish. This could be a really powerful opening here for the French. Super aggressive. Possibly super effective. We shall see how it pans out. Especially with the fact there's a knight on the field, right? So there's no way for the Japanese to contest this. He doesn't have any units. The big thing about that is that once the foundation goes down, the villagers can't come out to torch it for demo because there's a knight waiting there to pounce. Really interesting opening, likely to be effective, and kind of curious to see how demo tries to address this. Now bear in mind one thing. I mean, he's looking very committed to that castle age. You can mine some gold from this, a bit of a trickle from it when you mine stone, but it's going to be rough. It's not a great conversion. For every 10 gold you mine, you get 2 stone, and every 10 stone you mine, you get 2 gold. Knight charging in there for Crackedy, but doesn't want to commit too much. Probably shouldn't really. He's going to station himself there with the knight. Uh-oh, he's going to try and go for another outpost, but there's another knight here already. Charges on in, but he actually only charges on 2 separate villages, I'm afraid, so he won't actually get the kill. Oh, look at that! He actually got the torch on the outpost. That means Demo doesn't get a complete trade when he deletes that and cancels. He doesn't get the full wood cost involved. Now, there is one knight that's pretty weak, so Crackedy will do well to kind of keep that safe, and Skur going to charge on in, but back away with it. But bear in mind, the French do have a really nice upgrade, or technology I should say, called Chivalry. It costs 300 resources, which is actually relatively cheap, all things considered. Because, you know, a knight costs 140 food and 100 gold. So essentially 240 resources. So you can, you kind of, you know, you heal up 2 knights back to full health. And you kind of already recouped the cost. But ideally, of course, you want some numbers as well. So it might be a while before Crackedy decides to get any upgrades like Chivalry. Now, bear in mind, Crackedy has actually mined a bit of stone as well. So he's going to get arrow slits. And he's got units garrisoned to the side as well, which certainly helps. Can try and rush out an outpost on the west side here, Demu. And he should be able to get it, but if there's a knight prowling, which well, he's going to scout it for anyway, and there's a knight here in the north, protecting the 2 gold veins, expecting Demu to move on out, but he can't now. Because Crackedy's keeping a close eye. He scouts this, and he notices that he's going to go for the stone instead. Knights come out, and he's going to try and snipe a villager on berries. No, going to go back in, and charges with an eye on the scout. No, he actually cancels the charge, goes for the charge on the villagers. Great micro there by Crackedy to get the charge on the villager. Should get a villager kill, and there's not enough space in the outpost. He does manage to get out of there, actually. Just about. Now, he has queued up arrow slits again, so he should be okay to mine stone. Well, this is a bit tricky. I'm not sure if he is really going to get this safely. At least not anytime soon. Arrow slits just about to come on in, so that will certainly help his cause, but every so often, I'm sure Crackedy will just charge on in. A great opening here. Super aggressive, super effective so far. Charges on in. Should get a villager kill here. He does get it. He does. Oh, he's going to get another. There's not enough space in the outpost. Going to lose 3 villagers here. Now, he might lose this knight. He tries to bring it away, but 11 HP. Oh, just about goes down, which is... It's a bit of a reprieve there for Demu, but he's lost 3 villagers, so I'm sure Crackedy will be more than happy with that. And get the upgrade for the outpost as well, just to make it extra strong and make it a lot more difficult now for Demu to challenge that. Yeah, he's going to rush this. He wants the castle age big time. The question is, what do you do once he got there? He doesn't have a constant supply of gold, so he's going to have to try and mine this as much as possible. Bear in mind, behind all of this... Oh, he's still getting some more villagers here on the berries. Oh, this is painful. Yeah, behind all of this, the French have a faster working town centre, so he's getting plenty of villagers that way. You see the lead already there. A significant lead in villager count. 6 villagers ahead. And is being able to take out the deer camp as well in terms of food is super effective as the French. This is actually really what you want as the French. Get the pocket economies. Or he's going to go for another outpost. Well, this could be ambitious. He needs to be careful not to lose a villager. He's going to go for the double gold. And this is so key. So, yeah, I mean, certainly Deborah will get to the castle age. But the question is, what can he do with it? He's going to need to try and find us a constant supply of gold and secure this area. But it's looking a bit tricky so far. In fact, he's actually moving down towards the wood line here, Crackedy. Maybe to wall up or get an outpost on this wood line. Just to harass even further. Quite a good potential there for doing that. Now, with the extra stone, that could potentially give him the diamond mana. He's already going to get it, yeah. So it has been buffed recently, a reduction in cost. It used to be 300 stone, now 225. We'll give him a bannerman, or increase the cap of it. And also give him an extra free villager, which I'm sure he would love to see, because he's lost a couple already. He has added in a couple of archers, which is something that I hope he doesn't necessarily commit too much to, because there's no spearmen, and of course when the Japanese do get to the castle age, we're typically expecting to see mounted samurai. A really strong unit for them. Oh, the archer, Crackedy. He pulls him away. Needs to pull the other one away, maybe, potentially. No, he's going to get a couple of hits. plenty of villages on gold, 7, so he's going to continuously make those knights. But it will be the floating gate landmark in the end there for demu. No real surprises. Does have another outpost on the stone. Maybe you can afford to keep in the castle age? Or in fact, they can't. The Japanese don't get it. They have to wait till the Imperial Age for their keeps. And there is that stable confirming that we will be seeing mounted samurai. He has got a market just to balance the economy slightly, so could potentially sell the stone. But the French have got a massive surrounding. They're going to go to the castle age himself. With the extra villagers, has supplied the economy with enough resources. Going to go with the guild hall just to make sure he's got sort of that mid to late game power spike. A bit of a boost rather than go for the Royal Institute. Of course, the guild hall, great landmark for the long stages of the game. Royal Institute, just sort of a one-off power spike in the castle age. But yeah, he's going to go for the more measured approach, and you can see he's definitely going for the pocket economy. This is so great because the last thing you want as the French to lose momentum is having a farming transition. Ooh, a couple of villagers there idle there, not knowing what to do. Oh, there they go. We're off to work now. Yeah, it was stifling the food as well with just one archer. One alone. He's going to lose the priest, surely? Yeah, he does. But now with Crackedy into the next stage as well, he is looking in a really strong position. Almost 8 villages. He's 8 villages ahead, which is kind of crazy to think about. There's the Bannerman. Archers are going to garrison inside in time. But yeah, we may see a bit of a pushback now for demu. He's got mounted samurai in the field, of course. Chivalry is in play for the knights, healing them up. He loses the archers, and yeah, a couple of mounted samurai will clear most of this up. But of course, Crackedy has a huge advantage in terms of economy. And he's been able to stifle demu's economy quite significantly. Bear in mind, that's a lot of villagers on the sheep. That's going to need a farming transition before too long, and that's going to delay any sort of major push out for the Japanese. Because of course he hasn't been able to take advantage of, you know, the boar, the deer camp, as the French have. Speaking of which, he's got to be a little bit careful here, Crackedy. These villagers are very exposed, and with mobility on the field now for the Japanese, could be dangerous time for the French economy. Couple of knights now, possibly. Yeah, he's going to lose a couple here, actually. I think he won't lose both, because they are veteran royal knights after all. Possibly going to check on the food sources, but we're coming here forward now with the units for demu. Possibly looking to try and snuff out some economy. Now the question is whether he dives. Now the amount of samurai are very good at diving things, and here the arbaletier. I love this switch. We talked about earlier in the cast that I was kind of hoping that Crackedy wouldn't commit to the arch line, because the archers won't do too much against the amount of samurai. Oh, he actually kind of missed an opportunity there, demu, unfortunately. And villagers will mostly get away with this. Not too much coming out in the way of aggression now for the French. He's being pushed back a little bit. Of course, the timing was a little bit earlier there for the Japanese to get the castle age. Got the more premium units. Might lose a couple of villagers here, actually. Demu getting some value. Here come the knights, the veteran royal knights, to try and charge this off. So we'll lose a couple of units, but, you know, a couple of villagers there. Crackedy. Oh, no, the pathing there. Absolutely terrible for demu to walk back into it. He loses 2 units, and now he's having to head back home. But it's a good attack. No doubt about it. With demu now heading back home. Has to find another way to attack from a different angle. He's going to look to secure the gold. This is going to be a really key area of the map, actually. I suspect Crackedy will lean into that area, because if he stifles gold, he stifles the Japanese economy. Now, speaking of economy, I would like to say, by the way, in this economy, you guys have been supporting me very, very well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Especially all the YouTube channel members, the Twitch subscribers, and also the YouTube super chatters, the super thankers. Thank you so much. Helps me go a little bit further to continuously continue the content creation project. Of course, I love casting Age of Empires 4, but it's a little bit difficult to keep up, and you guys help me keep on ticking along with it, so thank you. The question is whether relics are being picked up, and the answer is yes. 2 have already been picked up by demu. Oh, a couple of knights around the bag, but I mean, he should be okay defending now. Mounted samurai are on the field. He's going to repair out the house, and I suspect he's going to build up a massive mounted samurai here, demu. I mean, he's got an option, right? He's got 2 options. He's got an option to take out these outposts, get hold of his gold, which is probably a good idea. The other option is to try and find Crackedy's economy. It's a tough decision, but it looks like he's going to be opting for... Well, maybe he's going to look to try and find that economy, actually. You know, he's sending some mounted samurai down south. There's nothing here in terms of outposts. That's just quite exposed, and Crackedy's definitely got to be careful about it. One false move in that regard could be Very, very painful. The game has somewhat settled down. We see a bit of a farming transition now for Crackedy. He needs food and... Oh, wait. Oh, he's actually just going to protect the relics. This is, okay, I mean, it makes sense. He wants the long-term economy, but Demu's missing out on quite a lot of big, juicy opportunities here. The question is, will the favoring of the long-term economy with the relics be the better move, or has he missed out on a big opportunity to get himself back into the game by taking out valuable, unprotected economy? I mean, ultimately, you kind of have to assume that your opponent is going to be protecting the pocket economies with outposts. It just so happened Crackedy didn't have one until now. And he's looking to get the sacred sites as well. So Demu has picked up 3 of the relics. In fact, he's deposited 3. He's picked up another one on the way. So it's going to be kind of balancing the deficit in terms of economy somewhat with that. It looks like it's go time now. He wants to take out this outpost and get back access to the gold. Understandably so. Crackedy here floating a bit of food. I'm kind of curious to see what the game plan is from here. Does he just mass up an army and push on forward? Quite possibly. He's going to get the blacksmith now. And by many counts, many build orders actually is quite late for the blacksmith. Not necessarily so bad. I think he's being super aggressive, so that's the reason why. And of course, he's prioritized, you know, doing a lot of damage versus getting the tech ups. He's going to be the damage by just sheer unit numbers, and he charges on through. Now, this is veteran Royal Knights, and these actually stand up pretty well to the samurai. Can look to decap the sacred site down the middle. And the one in the north as well. So, yeah, Crackedy's pushing back now. Bit of a tug of war on this map. It's actually typically what we expect. I love a good tug of war in the map Gorge. And Demu having to back away now. He's grouping up together a lot of mounted samurai. The question is, when does he hit? Because he can't really afford to let the arbitraire count increase in numbers too much, because then it becomes a really bad fight for Demu. Could potentially see some Onamusha, but I love this army composition, right? The French Royal Knight and the Arbitraire, such a strong combination. Arguably, in many ways, a lot stronger than Onamusha and Mounted Samurai, because Arbitraire just do so well against both Onamusha and Mounted Samurai. Whereas the Onamusha, they do well against the Royal Knights, and they do a decent job against the Arbitraire, but not a great job. Especially in a stand-up fight, toe-to-toe. Going to look to take down this outpost as well. Now, the value that has been gotten, or had, with these 2 outposts that Crackedy made is absolutely phenomenal. Not only did it kill villagers, stifle the gold income, delayed the tech up to the castle age, stifled up the unit's production for Demu once he got to the castle age, but it was also distracting the army, forcing the army to stay back at home, deal with the outposts, and it's allowed now Crackedy to mount a large army in the middle. Ready to pounce, ready to go, almost. He's waiting for those upgrades, it seems. Going to dive in on the gold in the north, get some villagers here. I mean, there's not enough spaces in these outposts. There's definitely going to lose a couple here. Well, there is enough space. They just couldn't make the journey there. He might lose another one. Charge in. No. He got a swipe. He does lose another. Here, the mounted samurai, but they were too busy trying to take down the outpost, which has now gone down. But Crackedy is dictating the terms of the fights and the engagements and where they're happening. 2 veteran knights, though, they might be picked off. Samurai chasing, but ultimately I don't think you mind this if you're Crackedy, right? Because this is 14, 15 cavalry units from the Japanese chasing 2 from the French, and Crackedy knows exactly where they are. He might try and lead them towards the Arbitraire, trying to raid the wood line. We'll get a good raid here because not much in the way of units. The Japanese mounted samurai all stuck together. They didn't split off, and this is going to be a great raid. Bear in mind, he does have iron undermesh, and these are veteran Royal Knights. He might lose a couple here. Crackedy, he managed to escape with that one. Just about. But he's getting some great damage here. Not only is he killing villagers, he's causing a lot of idle time. And Demu might be tempted to turn around and fight here, but if he does, the Arbitraire might get in range, so he's not going to take the bait just yet. And he really is just sticking with one unit type here, Demu. The mounted samurai. Look at the army count. 47 to 20. Courtesy of having, you know, a vast villager lead. Crackedy's just been raiding so well. He's killed 15 villagers so far. Oh, the mounted samurai might run into a couple of Arbitraire. He might take out a couple. Oh, he's not. Oh, what happened there? I don't think he was attack moving at all. And he's going to lose a couple. Nice, charging on through. He's going to escape with obviously the majority of the army and look to regroup and go again. But yeah, let's talk about farming transition, right? Because that's what's going to hold the key in the mid to late game. Now, we're kind of already in the mid game, but the late game. I gotta say though, like, if you think about farming economy stifling production and stifling aggression, well, the thing is, Crackedy, whilst he might need a farming transition a little bit harder a bit soon, he does have 19 villages on food still, and he has a sufficient army, a massive army to push with, whereas Demu still kind of needs to make his. He's got a lot of food, a lot of gold actually floating. I wonder if the idea is to go for the Imperial Age here for Demu potentially. But he's got a lot of unspent resources. Okay, well there's the 4 rams for Crackedy, looking to put some pressure. I think he's going to go for the gold area, right? It makes a lot of sense. If he controls this area, it would be very painful for Demu. The mounted samurai looking to get a bit of a counterattack. Couple of veteran samurai mounted samurai going to go for the veteran royal knights. There we go. We got it out in the end. Looks like Demu's going to try and do what happened to him with almost 3,000 food in the bank here in the guild hall. Crackedy. There's a question of whether he might think about the Imperial Age, although probably not on the cards considering the push that's likely to come in very shortly. He probably won't even need Imperial Age at this point, but he could technically cash it in. And I wonder what his production queue's like. I mean, he does need a bit more gold, but he could be well on the way to... He just cashed it in. The food came on in. He could balance the economy. Might sell the food. We shall see what he decides to do with it. But the 20-minute mark, it's a pretty nice timing on getting all that food. Yeah, he's balancing out. He's got the gold to take up to the Imperial Age. And he's going for the Red Palace right on top of the gold. And he's got a really good reason to do so. He's got his army to protect it. Might lose a village or 2 here, but not too much of a big problem. It's the Rams. The Rams are going to take the outpost so quickly, and the veteran Royal Knight's going to charge on through. And this is problems here for Demu. He doesn't have enough army. In fact, the army that he has is in the forward position. They're completely out of location. There we go. The Knights charging on through. Going to get on the villagers and gets a massive charge on in. And, well, there's just so many units garrisoned inside here for Demu. All the villagers garrisoned inside. And there's so many artillery here. The Royal Knights just charging on through. Getting a massive raid, and this is looking curtains for Demu. He's going to suffer so much damage here, no doubt about it. And there it is. The GG gets called. Demu has to tap out in the end. Just way too many units from Crackedy here. He didn't even need the Imperial Age. And Crackedy shows us exactly how we can take out the Japanese and stop them from getting their fast castle. Hope you guys enjoyed this casted game, and if you did, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Take care, and see you next time.